All right. Hey guys, welcome to the second interview in our series about the creation of REM alternies and their project Chicago Shadows. I'm Mac. I run and do sound design for the podcast Pink Mohawk Edition, which is a Shadowrun Anarchy actual play. And I'm here with Sarah, the CEO, and Scott, the head scriptwriter for REM alternies. How are you guys doing?
Great. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Pretty well.
I'm good. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, good to hear. So I wanted to ask you, first of all, how did you come up with the story and decide, what kind of narrative you wanted to tell?
In the case of Chicago Shadows, it started around a gaming table where friends just sat around. I built a story as we were going along, kind of in the idea of buddy comedy. And as the story progressed within the friend group and the story I created, different, I don't know, we'll call them actors, different characters kind of came to the forefront. And then those were the ones that we focused on and built this story about that went from being kind of buddy comedy slash, a team coalescing into something into what kind of turns into a personal horror story for at least one of the characters and bite off more than they can chew. And it's they think they're a little bigger than their britches actually are.
Yeah, I'd say that while each of the characters, we have 6 main characters, each of them has their own history and their own baggage to bring to the table and sort through. It's really a story about a team that comes together, learns how to work together, and as different as they all are, they really do want the same thing.
Yeah, and they are all very, they're different. That's some of the, I say buddy comedy initially, but there's a lot of drama between the different characters and their interactions and the histories that they have colliding and the just the social dynamics that kind of come out of all that, built around a setting of a Chicago that's just been kind of torn apart, ravaged, and abandoned. So little Wild West feel, little post-apocalypse feel, but mostly that's just the background of the picture they're painting, and all the characters are really the images on the canvas.
I think it's also in that post-apocalyptic setting. It's what about this futuristic world where the corporations have taken over and it's not a happy place. So if you get some say in how to rebuild that, what do you do with it? Like, what are your priorities? Are your priorities to get on top? Are your priorities to survive? Are your priorities to help people? And it kind of brings out who you are, and who these people are, and what makes them good or bad or right or wrong, and what makes you want to follow them and want them to fail or succeed.
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like it's going to be really character driven, which is something that I personally love in a lot of media. So I've also been curious about how you decided what elements of the full story you chose to showcase in the final trailer.
Yeah, I can touch on this one. So I'm playing Curie. So she's actually new to Chicago, arrives and is trying to survive. And, spoiler alert, she comes close to dying. So she finds something within herself that she didn't know was there. And so she's starting to find her way where she doesn't have to drive all of her actions based on fear and reaction and running. She can make her place in the world because of what has awakened within her.
Yeah, when we start out with a story that has 6 characters, you can't, unless you're going to just do a montage flash of one after the other in a trailer. We really wanted some story to come out in it, and by focusing on the one individual and just the flashes of struggle that she's facing, and it kind of builds on this backstory for her where she's new. And she has the gift of magic, but hasn't fully grasped how it flows through her. Part of the character's depth is that one cold side, one very hot side, but they're very separate. It's very hard for her to control. You want flash and you want excitement in a trailer. The scenes we planned are the scenes that are in the trailer. We have a set number of them, and they will all make it. Whether they're a little longer, a little shorter than we initially planned, or that's up to editing and how they feel they flow together.
That's really cool.
Yeah, Matt, thank you so much for doing this and making the time for us and for the great work you do in the community and joining us here on the REM channel.
Yeah, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much.